Chapter 13. The Midnight Discovery. I reached the control centre after some backtracking, and I admit tripping over myself in the dark. My phone screen didn't provide much light, but luckily someone was inside the control centre, so I followed the glow from inside the room. I pocketed my phone, so whomever was in there wouldn't see me coming. Was one still awake too? I wondered. Maybe one didn't even sleep. I hoped whoever was in there would leave soon, so I would get a chance to do what I came to do. My breath was condensing in the ship's cold air. My fingers were going numb too. I hoped the heat was on inside, and I would get to feel its warmth soon. I edged closer to the door, and then peered through its small window. It was one. He was standing with his back to the door, tapping at the controls on some screen. "I have revealed myself," I heard one say aloud. On the screen, a familiar face nodded. "How did the crew respond?" Dr. Ghost asked. For a moment I wondered if Dr. Ghost was alive somewhere, but then the image twitched and paused, just like it had when we had watched the orientation video. Somehow the Doctor had infused an artificial intelligence of himself into the Ark's computer. "They were naturally surprised by my appearance," one replied, "and they asked a lot of questions." Dr. Ghost's image remained frozen for a moment, and then spoke again. "Did they accept your authority?" Dr. Ghost asked. "I do not think so, though for the time they seem to be content to follow my instructions. They are scared and looking for guidance in an unfamiliar world, but soon they will start to question my leadership," one said. I ducked below the window, not wanting to be seen. I was one of those people actively questioning one's leadership, after all. I heard Dr. Ghost sigh. "You cannot force them to follow you," he said. "I doubt they will get lazy or complacent to their situation, and the memories we gave them will prevent such behaviours. When they realised what work they have before them, they will want a leader, and you are perfectly suited to that task." "What if they choose one of their own as leader?" one asked. "That may happen," Dr. Ghost replied. "You can't force them to accept your leadership. Just protect them until they reach their new home. I have no doubt that they will see you as invaluable in due time. You have taught me how the human race often divides itself, by race or views or geographies. How can I hope to keep these children from repeating the same mistakes of the past? Might they ultimately destroy themselves?" one asked in response. "One of the biggest mistakes humanity has ever made was assuming that they had all the answers," Dr. Ghost replied. "But that flaw of ego is also what makes us fundamentally human. They will resist you. That is their nature. In return, you can show them why you are the best chance at survival." "And if they would rather destroy themselves?" one asked. "It would mean the end of humanity. Forever. It is unlikely, but if that is their destiny, you would not be able to overpower them all if you wanted, son," Dr. Ghost answered. What did he mean when he called one his son? Although, it probably is actually obvious now that I think about it. "Very well, father. I will proceed as you suggest," one said. Dr. Ghost, in the machine, nodded. "Tomorrow you must inspect the cargo bays and ensure that supplies are stored properly," he said. "The computers contain additional memory implants should the children need continuing education." "Understood," one said. "I know you will make me proud, one," Dr. Ghost replied. "I hope that this program can help. I am sorry that I am not there to see you save the human race." I'd heard enough, and fearing getting caught, I returned to my bedroom. I lay on my bed, staring at the ceiling, replaying what I had just heard between one and Dr. Ghost. I think I had some respect and a bit of trust for this one, at least for now, given what I just heard. "Hello, Callum of England," one suddenly said, standing in my doorway. I sat up with a start, confused as how he had arrived so silently and quickly. "Hello, one," I said. "You have questions regarding the conversation you overheard?" one said. I wasn't about to try lying to him. Besides, he was being very direct with me. "I do," I said. "Who are you exactly?" "I am Dr. Ghost's son. He placed me on board to protect you and the other children until you arrive at your new home." "Why did you get to survive, when so many others didn't?" I asked. "My father chose me to become the leader of this mission. I had little choice in the matter." If one was lying, I couldn't tell. "How can we be sure that you won't harm us?" I asked. The question had been on my mind since one first appeared, and though I believed what I saw in the control centre, I couldn't pass up the chance to test this strange man. "You can't," one replied without hesitation. "But as you overheard, I will have to work hard to prove it." I shuffled to my feet. "Now, may I ask you a question?" one asked. "Go on," I said, figuring I owed him that much. "Would you be able to accept my leadership?" I looked into one's dark, expressionless eyes. They weren't soulless and frightening. They were almost toy-like. "I could," I said, not wanting to lead myself. "But like Dr. Ghost said, you will have to prove yourself to everyone else, not just me." One nodded. I climbed onto my bed. One still stood in the doorway. "I'm going to go to bed now," I said. "Please do. We have a long day tomorrow, although actually it's the same length as any other day. It will just be a bit tiring walking around the cargo bay." Before he left, I had one final question. "How did you see me outside the control center? Your back was to the door," I asked. "Oh, I didn't see you," one replied. "I could hear your heartbeat." Thank you for listening to this chapter from Stolen Futures. Please like or comment on this video, and subscribe to The 8th Plot so you don't miss out on the next installment of this book. Goodbye.